pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wouldn't make sure I didn't miss that.
Roll call, Alderman Jennifer Schwartz. Here. Alderman Clyde Custer. Alderman Zen Duda. Here. Alderman Annette Henniker. Here.
approval of the agenda. Move made, second. All in favor?
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Opposed, there.
Motion carried.
Consent agenda.
Let the vote to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public forum. Mark Vogt.
Here. Good evening. My name is Mark Vogt, a resident of the same areas. My comments this evening pertain to the UTV issue, and it's my understanding that you're going to move forward tonight with making your provisions on the operating of the UTVs in city limits. And before I start off, I would like to say I apologize beforehand if any of my information is not correct. All I know is what I read in the Herald and a brief conversation with David Woods last week. So if I misspeak on anything, it's intentionally, and you can correct me surely. So I've also spoke to Police Chief Mary Bennett, St. Genevieve, and Deputy Berg, and I also spoke with Mayor Paul Monia at Bloomsdale, just to see what kind of regulations, problems, issues they've had with the UTVs. Just get a little more background on the laws and as pertains to the UTVs. And I know some of the things that were discussed that I read in the Herald were just ideas that were thrown out, and some of them were kind of dismissed, and some of them were kind of left to be open that maybe you're going to discuss further tonight. So my comments have to do with the provisions that you all talked about that were not that are in addition to what is allowed in St. Genevieve. The first one was helmets. And I think David told me you pretty much dismissed that you're not going to require helmets. But I'm sure just going from what I remember our conversation, maybe you are going to require it for age 16 years old. I don't know what you're going to do with that, but I'm sure everyone's aware that Governor Parsons did recently sign a law that helmets are no longer going to be required for motorcycles, and they're going to be kind of obsolete, or at least left up to personal preference. Regarding lights and turn signals on the UTVs in St. Genevieve, lights are not required during the daytime, but turn signals are. But I can tell you, talking to Officer Bennett, from my own personal observations, that's not strictly enforced. I've seen them just this past Monday on Highway 61. I was behind UTV that did not have turn signals right in front of roads, and he went about 100 feet, maybe on traditional hand sign. I knew he was making a right-hand turn, and to me, I don't think it's a big issue in daytime to have turn signals, and it's an added expense on UTV. If you get one with all the bells and whistles on one, you're talking, expensive machinery. And
Let me interrupt you just for a second.
Okay,
I would like to, you're going to get your talk,
Okay.
and I'm not trying to cut you off.
Okay.
But I would like to go through this ordinance, and we take a lot of time, what we did, what we talked about, what we got, explain all this to you and what we're going to do, and then you get a chance to respond. I'm going to answer almost everything you're talking about. I will go through this. The only thing, everything that's in this ordinance is St. Genevieve and Perryville and different ordinances, and it was passed by the previous board. We're making, how many changes? 3 or 4 changes.
Right.
I would think. The others has been in the past by the other board, there was no problem. Only thing we're making is a change, or we're making one better if the board approves it tonight. Me and Clyde, we've had a discussion on the turn signal. We're not going to allow night shooting. But you don't need turn signals if you're just driving daytime. Your hand signals are still legal.
Good.
And so we're doing away with requiring signal lights if the board approves this ordinance. Because Right now, we, daytime only.
Good.
So, people don't have to go out and rewire them, but these older ones, and they ain't in too much trouble, half of them forget to turn them off. And just, well, and hand signals are legal. The only thing we're changing in this ordinance is that. And I know Facebook come out with helmets and everything.
What do you got, Paul?
Huh?
What do you got in that page? That's what we want to
I'm
know.
gonna look for it right now.
We care less about Facebook.
Here's Chlordine and the draw pad, the previous board, mine. Number 4, we didn't change anything on it. That requires kids to wear helmets.
Well, kids shouldn't be driving them anyway, they're not over 16.
I'm talking about on the thing, right, in the back. Every one of the ordinances, every city's got kids in the back, under 80 pounds, or it has to be buckled in and with a helmet. All the ordinances got it. St. Jimmy's got it, Perryville's got it, but not the drivers.
Okay, I don't mean to pick a bone, and I'm sorry to step on your
Well, I'm not
table.
going to stand and sit and argue with you.
I'm not arguing, but I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna say one thing right now. Then your grandkids riding that 4-wheel,
That's
that
my
go
problem.
that go across the street, not wearing a helmet or seatbelt, that's on your ass. I'm done.
Yeah,
Fuck
you're done.
you.
You're right.
Yep, eat shit. Let's go. We're done with this shithole town.
Bye-bye. The kids are supposed to wear helmets
I don't know.
on the street.
Under 8, yeah.
What you do in your yard is your business.
Under
What
what,
I do in my yard.
under what age did you say?
Huh?
Under 8.
The ordinance reading, the original ordinance that the previous administration made read.
Doesn't the number 8 seem arbitrary depending on the size of the child though?
And we didn't change that, it's still there. It's still there, just like it was. We hadn't touched that.
I'm just asking a question, what the age was.
I'm going to explain what we done, then he's gonna get to finish what he will, and then we'll finish talking.
Okay.
I'm just trying to, the other one we changed, the golf cart they had on all the other ordinances that are electric only. Well, I changed that to golf cart. Because more of
Some
them
of
are
our
electric, gas and electric.
yes.
The others, it was illegal to ride a gas golf cart in their town. And still is, according to their ordinance. Remove the impossible insurance requirement, because nobody can get it, say that. But we do make them sign a waiver of liability.
There you go.
If we got somebody complaining about that, if we don't sign that, then we're gonna go back to the original, which says your insurance company has to say they're covered on public street, and they're not going to say it, so you'll never be able to ride it.
Right.
But I am going to protect the city as best I can, and if they got to sign a waiver. Now, there's nothing bad about that. The hours is one that what a lot of people up there want nighttime. I'm against nighttime. We don't have laws 24 hours a day. Right now, we don't have no law. Daylight is from 30 minutes before sunrise to 30 minutes after sunset.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, ma'am.
What would be the difference between a vehicle and a side-by-side with a sober driver after dark?
Huh?
What is the difference between a
There's so
sober...
much difference in the speed of them and everything, and it's a different group of people at nighttime and at daytime.
That sounds like discrimination.
And we don't have law on this.
That's
town.
discrimination.
'Cause I understand, I got 2 side by side. I know side by side. And I can take my lights off mine because I don't ride them at nighttime.
Well, that's you, that's not everybody else.
Huh?
That's not everybody, though.
But it's the board's opinion that we don't want them in this town after dark. All 4 of these members here voted and discussed this last month. Now, I don't know if we've had change of mind or not,
I don't even know that side by side. I don't really care about it. I just
but
think
I've
it's
always,
fine.
ever since that they've been contemplation about side by side in the town, when they come up, they always said we weren't going to allow them at nighttime. Long before this was ever voted in. Because they've come up with 4 different times and lost in this town. Now we're past it. We don't need them running around the streets at nighttime.
What if you're
But
just...
now then, the flag. It's always, the ordinance has always had a flag, but they never had a definition of what. Which what the conservation requires. And that's all. They got ordinance today on enforcement by flag. Now, I done seen one run around with a yellow one. It's gotta be conservation does the fluorescent orange. And it's supposed to be, we got it 2 feet above the cap. And it's supposed to be on. Now, when I get back to, when I get,
in the back.
you gotta have a triangle, that's the,
Yeah.
but the only thing we changed was the definition of flag. Somebody could say, well, they stick a little American flag there, but I got a flag, so you have to cover your bases. But that is all we've changed, and that's what we're gonna be voting on here tonight. Now, Mr. Vogt, you're welcome to go back where you were at,
Thank you.
and I know.
Concerning just what you talked about, a couple points I do hope you consider. Tonight, sunset is at 7:45, that means you have to be off the streets at 25 after 7. A little early, you know, summertime, it's hot,
Here,
I like to finish
get some sun.
What time does sunset tonight?
7:55.
So it'll be 8, I'm almost 8:30, it'll be 30 minutes after the sun goes down.
I thought it was before.
30 minutes after the sun goes down. So it's gonna be almost dark.
Okay. And also, keep in mind, in the wintertime, December, sets at 5 o'clock, so they, you know, the middle of December, we could get a 60-degree day in December, and, you know, somebody works all day, gets home, there's not gonna be time to get on a four-wheeler. If you require lights, like they do in St. Genevieve, and if you would consider changing your stance just a little bit, some people I talked to would be fine if you put a curfew on it, say at 10 o'clock or so. You're already shaking your head, you're not even keeping an open mind. But if you go up to St. Genevieve, around dark is when you're going to see most of it. It's when people want to get out of the house and go for a little ride before it's time to go back home and settle in for the evening. And I just think you're limiting the use on it for people who work during the day, and you're not taking into consideration if it's dark early in the winter. And I even thought, you know, we get a foot of snow, who don't like going out playing in the snow a little bit, you know, and I just think I just wish you would consider maybe extending the time just a little bit, provided that you do have factory equipped lights that meet the regulations. That's all I'm asking, is that you consider it. So,
Amen to
I'm
that.
good with that. Okay. Not used to my new glasses here. I think to make one point I really want to make is talking to the police departments, talking to Mayor Bonia in Bloomsdale, and I realize we're different in those places, but St. Jen is welcome to. They're not out to nitpick people on things like not having a turn signal and things like that. And Police Chief Bennett told me he's not written one ticket in St. Genevieve since they've enacted UTV usage up there. And he said in his entire time as city chief up there, he's only had one incident involving UTVs, and that was somebody that was running from the cops. And the deputy sheriff had the same opinion. We're not worried about the UTV riders in town. We're not out to write tickets. We're letting people do their thing. And as long, everybody's opinion was, as long as they're driving safely, as long as they're driving at a safe speed, we're letting them alone. And I kind of hope that we would have that opinion here in St. Mary when people ride them. And as far as Bloomsdale goes, I lived in Bloomsdale 12 years, and I can tell you forever, the people who've been out there have been riding their UTVs or ATVs or four-wheelers or three-wheelers. It's a custom out there, and it's accepted. And I think we ought to concentrate on making St. Mary's more family-friendly, because we don't have a lot of young people here. You don't realize that half our population is 45 years and older. We're not doing much to attract young people and young families. And as a school teacher at St. Jan, I can tell you, we got good kids in St. Mary's. We don't have kids out causing trouble and vandalizing and things like that. We got good kids. And I wish we'd cut them kids a little slack. To me, yeah, we live in the city, but we're all country folk. And part of living in the country is the freedom to do things like ride your four-wheelers and ride your vehicles and allowing your kids. That's where they learn a little bit of responsibility about driving around in their four-wheelers and things like that. I just wish that, I know that there are certain people still oppose this the UTV thing until it was taken to the public to vote on it. It was voted overwhelmingly by the citizens of St. Mary's to approve it. And we just anticipated that we would have the same laws and everything as they do in St. John, and you kind of relieve my fears a little bit that you, for the things like the turn signals. I just wish that we would give the thing a chance to work and not assume that bad things are going to happen. I do agree with you on the nighttime thing. Sure, I don't want it out at midnight, 1 o'clock, the guys driving around drinking, and that's where bad things are going to happen. But maybe consider extending it a little bit for summer hours for people who are equipped with the lights. So that's about all I got to say. I do think that we could do a lot to make the town more. There's nothing for kids to do here. Absolutely nothing. You don't even see kids out on the streets. They stay inside their house. They're not even out riding bikes. Let's give families something to do as a family. Go out and ride together, things like that. So I'm afraid that my real fear is the people who are opposed are going to be nitpicking every little thing. And let's hurry up and get them 2 strikes against them, and we'll pull over for a minute. Let's don't be like that. As long as they're not hurting anything, they're riding up and down the streets at a safe speed, not hurting anybody. Let's all relax a little bit. People enjoy it. Okay, that's all I have to say. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank you for being concerned. You show concern. I can explain something. Remember 6 months ago, we didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
We were working on it.
Yeah. And I appreciate it.
I don't know how many people come up with different ideas. How do we do this? Well, listen to everybody at one time, check their ideas. We're never going to get to it.
Yeah. Also, one last point I did right in here. I know Mayor White, he did, it was a quote in the paper, I don't know if he's misquoted here or not, but you said they are not legal, these are not legal in roadways.
Okay.
That was a quote in the paper.
The law, the insurance company will not state in their policy that they will pay if you have a wreck on a public road.
Okay, but you did continue.
I got a copy of the letter from our insurance company.
But besides the insurance, you did state that besides that, it's against the law.
Well, we think it's against the law to ride. Insurance company don't recognize it as a legal vehicle to be on public streets. And according to our insurance company, and it's been on file here for several years, that if somebody had a wreck, they could sue the city for allowing, well, according to the ordinance of St. Genevieve got, Perryville got, every city's got, it says in their thing they have to have insurance that states that they will pay on public roads, but none of them, you can't get it.
And I'm all for the city, protecting itself.
So what we did was to protect ourselves, and we're not the only one, there's other cities around, went with a disclaimer that we're not held responsible. That's all we did. Now, if we don't do that, then we're going to have to take the position that you have to have insurance, like all the ordinances say, St. Genevieve, Perryville, that your insurance company has to say they're paying on public roads. Then you ain't gonna get it. So then you won't be able to ride on the street. St. Genevieve's got it in there. I got a copy laying right here.
Yeah.
Somewhere they do. Perryville got it. But they don't enforce it because there ain't no insurance company gonna say it.
But I do know that, just talking to the cops up here, they're trying to let people alone as long as
But
they're behaving.
we don't have a police officer, but we're gonna have a police officer in this town again.
Well, that'll be another.
And it has to be I think there should be a police officer that works with the people, not against the people. And most people, everybody's going, I think we're going to, I hope that we pass the ordinance tonight as we discussed. It can be changed down the road if we see things are going good.
And also, that's like something I want to bring up. If you allow them a little bit of time, if they set a curfew, you can always change that.
But we can try what we got now and see if it works, then add to it too.
Sure, you can do that, but then you're.
We spent a lot of time last month discussing this, and we got people here that really going against some of the things they believe in, some of them going for it. But I just want to get it on the road, get it tested out, get it going. That don't mean that we can't change the kind of road, add to it, or maybe take away. If we see something that ain't working. But I am again, I know. You keep talking about family people and family this, and a lot of them are. But I know another crowd that's out and comes over this town at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and the damn sure ain't with their family and the kids. It's back cooler in the back, the hooping and hollering going on. I know them too. And I got to protect from that. And that happens after dark. It hardly ever happens during the day.
I don't know.
But we don't have no law in this town, so I got to protect the city as best we can till we get the law.
I don't know where these people are, I don't see
I
them.
don't need it.
You don't live on 61 then.
I do.
I'm like, all that time, I don't
People
understand.
that own tavern don't hear stuff like that, but other people do.
Outside the tavern, we don't hear.
Whoa, what's that got to do with that?
That's why they wanted
That's
it
why he
nighttime.
wants the side-by-side out of here
That's why they
at
wanted it nighttime. Now, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna pay the ordinance, or vote it up or down sometime tonight, when we get to it. Has anybody got anything that ain't been said they wanna say?
5. When you know
Because we're
good.
gonna move on with the meeting, and we're gonna get the business.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark.
Now, anybody else got a small statement they wanna make? Okay, then we'll hear no more. We'll start over
Hey,
our
Anthony.
agenda.
I gotta read.
All right.
Unfinished business? Oh, thank you.
Here's the big one up there.
You got it under new business. Yeah, okay. I say nothing. Okay. Now we're going to new business. Proclamation. Okay, I kind of got a double-edged sword here. The city has given a proclamation to the Chamber of Commerce. I thought he should agree because I'm on the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, the city of St. Mary's would like to thank the St. Mary's Chamber of Commerce for their generous donation of $500. These funds will be used to pay for the cost of the running off of the election with the funds left over. Now, there was no stipulation from the chamber what they used that fund for. $500 was it.
How much is left over after that?
It's 400 something, I don't know. And the Honorable Mayor Morrow, I decree this proclamation to express our sincere appreciation to the St. Mary's Chamber of Commerce. I'm kind of got to get something in between here. I will pass it on to the chamber, but I do want to tell you, there was no stipulation of what you did. It was donated to the city. Okay, air conditioning. Reflectors over that. I got one for $100, slightly used. It's working great. If you want to pay for it, fine. If you don't, I'll pay for it. I'll pick it up. It's working great. It's keeping this both rooms cool when you open the door. It's under warranty. It was $100 for Kevin Cox. Now, before I read in the Facebook, I don't have Facebook, I don't read it, but I get told about it. Kevin Cox is my ex-son-in-law. I don't want people to come up and say it's my son-in-law, it's my ex-son-in-law. And him and his wife broke up, they had it. And it's been separated for a couple, 3 years, and he didn't need it. I bought two from him, one for me and the city itself. But I just want to say it, because everybody here, Kevin Cox, that's your son, he ain't my friend. Okay.
Oh, I was just waiting for.
Motion been made,
I make the motion.
motion made and second. All in favor? Opposed? I just put that out there. library, house fund,
Can we do that one?
yeah.
Okay. Say Denby County Libraries applying for a grant to get hotspots throughout the county. There's an article in the paper really passionate about it. And there's funds under this COVID relief stuff, so this is pretty good, like we're gonna get this. But what they want to do is put hotspots, that way if the kids have to do virtual learning, they have internet access, you know, and it won't cost us anything. All we have to do is like plug it in, so, you know, probably that less electricity that clock uses. And help out our students in town.
What's the range then?
According to what they're saying here, you pretty much have to be in the parking lot, so they have to be around City Hall. They wouldn't be so like a mile away. They have to be pretty close.
Can they come
Yes.
in here and sit with you?
They can come sit there, yeah.
I mean, some kids, you know, they're required to be on the computers for me.
Yeah.
If they don't have it at home, they have to be here during the day if their parents are not sitting in the car.
Yeah, I mean, there's room. I got a problem with it.
Don't make it a YMCA babysitter.
Yeah, and they have got a grant, I just want to get pre-approved, that way I
I
can.
get Somebody want to make a motion, allow them to do it?
Motion to take the motion.
No pay second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
have a bench seat in that music box.
No problem.
Okay. Well, the two persons would occupy a bench seat.
Utility bill and so forth.
If you could set up a bench seat in the seat.
Currently, we're using a company called G-Works. They're charging us $1,003.59 a year. There's another company that we looked into called UB Max. For them to come in, it's $845 to set it up, but after that, it's only $445 a year. And for $65, we can get unlimited credit card transactions that don't cost us any fees, it doesn't cost the customer any fees. They can look at their bill online, they can pay online. Now, UB Max has internet bills that they want $1,500 the first year, and then $600. So this would save us money, and it's a lot more user friendly, because the program in there does all kinds of stuff we don't do. It's got payroll and things we're paying for that we don't utilize. This is strictly what we would need.
Are they locked in to keep that price in effect for a couple of years, or?
I didn't get a price guarantee down the road. I mean, it's not like good for 12 months or like some AT&T deal. It's just this is what our rates are, you know. And it's by number of people. It's like up to 300 customers, and we got like 180 utility customers. But also, this thing would allow us to do our fire taxes, which this system here doesn't do. So to make that a lot easier, so we keep track of it. So it's a great system for us. If you looked it up on the website, and also on YouTube, it's got some great reviews on it, how to use it. And I think it'd be a good deal.
So the savings are like 2 years or $400 or something like that?
Right, the first year would be about like $200 or $300 higher, but after that, it'd be like half price of what we're paying now.
He's gonna get a lot more out of it.
Oh, yeah, it'd be a lot more. Yeah, the online and credit card thing, I think is great. People can go online and see their bills, it's gonna pass usage and things, and, you know, and our collector can also access it from our house, so they can come down here and get on, so. Yeah, it's a lot better, in my opinion.
That has a lot more that should be. It's a lot better.
Is there a need to get any more bids from anyone else, or the one?
The other ones that I looked at are actually more expensive and do a lot more, you know, like electrical billing and cemetery stuff, I mean, they're
Stuff that we
huge.
don't need.
Yeah, because most cities are using like these big systems, and this was actually designed by people who like in small towns, that's why it's like broken 300 customers.
So are you seeking a motion for approval for this?
I'd like to get a motion and approval.
Motion, make a motion to
Second.
Motion made and second, all in favor? Opposed? Ordinance on,
Are you here?
964. Need a motion, reading, first reading, heading on.
Carl, can I make a request? for your city collector to have a set hours to when she's gonna be in her office and when she ain't gonna be in her office?
Good luck.
I mean, if she sits in there 2 hours a day, in the morning and evening, you know she's gonna be there at that time. Now, you say you got a drop box, but I ain't sticking cash in a drop box. I have no checking account, I pay everything by debit. I need to know somebody's gonna be here at a certain time, so I can be here at that time to pay my bills.
We don't have no posted hours, do we? We got posted days or what?
I can vouch, she's here from 8:30 to 2, Tuesday through Friday.
No.
And if I'm not here, I'm at the bank or I'm at the post office. I'm one person.
I will say this, she's normally here, or he takes it if not.
Yeah.
But the fit you throw in here won't work no more. Now, you have.
I didn't throw a fit, I just took my money back and left. Hey, don't you be pointing at me, I'm pointing at you.
You be out of here. Now,
Go
I'm
ahead,
after you.
go ahead. Throw me out, I don't give a shit.
Call 911, bring it on down here. I talk to you, and
I talk to you too, but you got up your finger, you got the
You
brain
ain't
and
going-
telling me this and that.
But you're not gonna come in here talking smart to them people.
Got it. You'll get it, I guarantee you.
I'll be waiting on you.
I bet.
Oh! Okay.
Did it break the flag?
Yep.
Now you play. That's great.
That's what he did the other day when I was here by myself too.
Yeah.
Can I say something about, I would like to see, like a panic alarm here or something for incidences like that. I have had him come in here several times and scare me half to death. And if I call county down here and I have to go through dispatch and everything else, it could take them 30 minutes to get here.
I bet it don't tonight.
I'm sorry.
I bet it don't tonight. I bet you look out front of the deal. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm working on getting a police department. I am working on it, but I can't do it just overnight.
Right.
And I understand your situation. But I will be, I've had one conversation with the sheriff, and I'm gonna ask more about patrolling down here a little bit more until we can get something lined up.
Because I mean, it just scares me, you know, the other day when he came in here, he reached under my plexiglass and, you know, luckily David was here, but I've been here before by myself when he's come in here and thrown fits like that, and I've been scared to death.
I don't blame you, Ben.
And I understand, you know, people come in here and they're going to be upset about their water bill, they're going to be upset about different things, but when you're upset, that's one thing, but when you cross boundaries, that's another.
Yeah, I mean, we can't be here all the time, we know that.
Right.
We don't have the money to be here all the time. But I do know, when you live next door, you can look and see when your car is out there.
Right.
And I do know it's here 4 days a week, every week, most times I'm usually here on Monday or Sunday. I do know that. I see it. And if I look down here in your car here, I can wait till it is, because it's usually there pretty soon.
Right.
But I can understand your fear. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Or even a little bitty guy. You don't know what they're capable of doing and what they're doing. But now they shouldn't take anything out on you, it should come to the board.
Right.
It's always our fault. Always our fault.
He ain't out there?
His car's still in front of his trailer.
Huh?
He's either,
I had an issue on my water bill too. I don't know.
he's either.
Wouldn't bring it up.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't on the agenda, but I would, if,
Okay.
take care of this, we'll get you.
Okay, that works.
Yeah,
Yep, that works.
Yeah, you should have called and told them that
Well,
you would get on the agenda. And
Yeah,
we could've
sorry,
took
I'm
care of
not-
you- We could've took care of you a long time ago.
that's fine. I ain't no hurry. Help.
Not- Okay. Well, because really, I've done started on this one, so,
Good. Yeah.
but if we want to just hear it and be done with it.
Whatever y'all want to do. Makes me no difference.
It don't make a difference to me, we'll go ahead and let you do yours.
Okay, well, my water softener broke, and apparently it spilled out like 19,000 gallons of water, and I'm usually using about 6 or 7,000. So my water bill's like pretty high. So I don't know if there's anything we can do about that, or if I'm just stuck with it, or.
Anybody want to answer that?
Let's have a second, we can't adjust.
Huh?
We can adjust the sewer part of it, we can't adjust.
Yeah, no, that's,
I mean, if it went through the sewer. If
It
it went
did.
through the
That's what
sewer,
I'm saying, I'm sorry.
if it went through the sewer, you can't adjust it.
You're right.
I mean, I'm on quoting the ordinance.
You're right, you're right. I wasn't thinking of
You
it.
can't adjust the water anytime.
No.
If it runs out on the ground or through the sewer, but you can't, but if it was a malfunction of a water problem, then it had to go through the sewer.
Right.
yeah, no, that's where it put it at. It didn't put it back in the
As
floor.
bad as I hate to say it, it can't be adjusted. Because it went through the sewer.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, okay, I'm just checking.
I mean, we can set up a payment where you don't have to do it all one big payment.
Nah.
That'll
Yeah,
help.
no, that's fine, I was just saying. So, no, okay. So when y'all know I wasn't filling my pool or nothing, it was just, I just got through, it's all right. But, no, it ain't y'all's equipment, it was mine, so, okay.
Okay, now, what's the law?
I called them, and they're gonna send somebody out. I mean, I called dispatch, which goes to St.
Yeah,
Francis
but they
County.
dispatch is supposed to have somebody in it.
That's what I thought, I told them, there's somebody at the church.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you do or not. The lady didn't know.
I will find out, because the sheriff promised me there would be a deputy in town now. At 7:30. I will call the sheriff on it tomorrow. Okay. We got a broke out window there?
Yeah, it's a glass on both sides.
Before the, can you get some plywood and screw over
I
that?
gotta
Cover
be
that?
plywood. We'll go get it, and some damage screws. I did after the meeting.
Want to keep up with how much time we put in and everything?
Yeah.
We will be reimbursed.
Oh, yeah, that's big. If you got a burn, we'll clean that up real quick. Try to pop the rest of the glass out, take a picture of it.
All the days of this
So
time?
you guys,
I was wrong. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, I wasn't.
When it passed, a lot of houses just left there, that you should have passed before. You let him know. Well, on his sewer. He saying he didn't know where, but under the ordinance that then, when he got the meter tested, come back good, that's and
I'll get it.
No, we're good.
I'll send it to you.
y'all just did, so he just kept hollering and hollering.
There's yours.
Look at this sewer, that should have never been there.
They're here, they just pulled
I'm
it
gonna
up.
tell you, and you use 8,000 gallons of water. You know where it went, and meters don't go bad and go good. Yeah, I know you,
I'd like to
but
make,
that's not over here.
I'd like to make a suggestion for her. Until this gets settled, you should provide, like I have an air horn that I can give her, and maybe a can of mace or something, she's still in herself. Right?
Close the window and shut the door, talk all over, and no longer there.
Oh, you do?
All we need is the city employees to make somebody, and if they ain't reading and grabbing them, or the way they doing the law nowadays, they turn around and shoot after you. But you could keep hateful protection if he
Yeah,
tried
at
to
least
reach
she's
people.
allowed herself to self-protect, you know, so. And she's not the most brains.
And these guys already made a statement on that, adjustment anyhow,
Yeah.
outside this room. He knows. Just getting started, this is the second meeting. Well, it's gonna be done right. I don't give a damn what it takes. And I'm going to protect the city employees, I don't care what it is. You're not gonna come in here and cut and rent and rave, or what be give you, or
Yeah, I mean, he was the same way with her.
it ain't gonna happen. They got a vendetta right now, they're going back in the hole for them. The next one will go over sharing, they're already clearing that up.
About what?
Clearing up sharing,
Oh,
there's deputy. Well, we're all calm down, but we had a gentleman to leave here, broke our window out. So, right now, I don't have a police department. I will take action.
So what was said?
Huh?
What was said?
What was
Yeah,
that?
well,
Said.
I took it.
what did he say?
Oh, we just got in a disagreement, and he started mouthing off, and he had to leave. He slammed the door and broke the window out.
But before he left, he said, "You'll get yours," and then he slammed the door and broke the window.
It don't feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
got on
okay.
tape, he's got on tape, he's got on camera.
I guess he threatened me some way or another.
Yeah, he said,
I
"You'll
ain't
get yours."
waiting all the time.
Or you want to sign a criminal complaint for the damage to the window?
Yeah, we sure do. We want to take. He lives next door.
What,
He lives next
Yeah,
door.
the white trailer right next door, that's his residence, and he's not there, he's at the bar across the street where he works.
I'll be right back. That's what he
As
said.
long as his car's still there.
Yeah, it was. just
I didn't
had it
know
on the
this.
side.
Who claimed it for him? Maybe somebody claimed it pretty good for him.
Oh, loud, loud.
That was Loudmouth.
Loudback, yeah.
Yeah, Loudmouth.
Maybe he crashed, I don't know, but I,
Oh, well, I'll see him again.
yeah, they keep him in plexiglass.
Then he rode and talked over his shoulder going out the door.
Yeah,
Then we got the one that does it on the phone.
yeah.
They ain't nothing but what we get. Okay. Where we at? Oh,
We had a motion for a first reading on the ordinance.
Can I say something about it before we go that far?
yeah. Well, I'm gonna call
I
for it.
didn't do a motion
As soon as we
yet.
get the motion, I'm gonna call for a discussion.
Oh, well, we can discuss it after the motion if you want to,
Yeah.
but that's fine.
We do have a motion.
Clyde made a motion before the.
And we do have a second.
Yeah.
Do we have a second? And we're gonna take, now, discussion.
I agree with Mark on the having a curfew. We have headlights on them, we have brake lights, if you have blinkers. I mean, I said that when we first started talking about this, I don't
I
have
know
a
why
problem
you're
with
feeling
that. I'm just making sure I put it out there.
I understand, and I have no
Because-
problem.
We go out after dark, we take the kids on the ride when we get home from work. We might not get home until 9 o'clock. We're not necessarily running around town, but you have to go through town to get home.
But if everybody would, we, I could live with that, but it ain't everybody. I know what goes on. Now, if everybody does a good job, we may give it a try and go down the road. But we worked on it pretty hard that night, I want to get in there what we got.
I just wanted to put my opinion.
I understand that, and you don't have to go for it. You have a right to change your mind.
I didn't
But-
change it, I said this last time.
But, to me, everybody all these years, everybody all these years argued that all we want to do is go out Sunday afternoon, ride Saturday afternoon. All these arguments have given all these years past this. All kinds of stuff. None of them, somebody argued night time, we do it in daytime. All I can tell them is, if you ain't home at dark on Sunday night, you should be. So you gotta go work the next day.
All I have to say is, the good people are being punished by what you think bad people are gonna do.
Well, and that they
You're
were
not giving us the opportunity to do the right
No,
thing.
you're not giving me the opportunity to let this work and move back. You don't live where I live. You have never lived down here where I live. You don't see the things I see. You don't live next to that town. There's people that leave there and want to leave. The only reason this ordinance is here today, and I'll tell you, I done that back in Freedom, because Baker Tavern wants them people out of Illinois to come over here and get the booze and go back. She fought for that for years and years, and I'm talking about the nighttime crowd. I know exactly where it comes from years and years. Now they get me more and more people, and there's a legitimate reason for it too. There's more and more family people. But most families with kids, 8 and 9 years old, got school coming up and that, they're going to be home pretty close to dark. And I don't know, really, we don't even have a cop, but if we do have a cop, he probably would be leaning on something if it's close. But when it gets dark, I'm sure that he should give a ticket. And that's just the way it is. Unless they can show some variable reason, give them a warning. You don't have to give a ticket.
Right.
But I don't want them running these streets at nighttime. I ain't talking about going home. I'm talking about running the streets. And that's what they'll be doing. If you give them a hint, then if it was you, young person, guys like that, drive around here slow, I mean, we could have it 24 hours a day. Wouldn't bother me, but that ain't the crowd that's out there at the dark. That's all I got to say. You do? Motion made and second. All in favor? Yeah, for the reading. We'll be roll call.
One small point. When Mr. Boat came in and kind of say, I didn't, like our discussion regarding these additional stipulations with the helmet, the lights and all, well, it's not meant, the intent is not to be nitpicky, it's just to be safe, like there's nothing worse than I've got 2 kids, 5 grandkids, and I don't want to have any harm befall them. And I've taken care of people with brain injuries from vehicles like that as patients in a hospital, and it's a totally different game when you're looking at someone and their brain don't work no more. So that's the only intent there. I love motorcycles, all kinds of vehicles. I'm all for it, but I want to be safe for the children and the families.
Okay. Discussion over now. Motion made there. Roll call.
Alderman Jennifer Schwartz.
Just to read it.
Oh, yeah, we have that, yeah.
Alderman Clyde Costu.
Aye.
Alderman Hager.
I just want to make sure I know what I'm saying.
Aye.
Okay, first reading of Bill 964. An ordinance of the City of St. Mary, Missouri, repealing ordinance 963 and regulating golf carts and utility vehicles.
Motion for a second reading.
Let's vote with that, please.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Roll call vote for a second reading.
Well, I usually go favor and then roll call.
Okay. Alderman Jennifer Schwartz.
Yes.
Alderman Clyde Costello. Alderman Hager.
Aye.
Alderman Zen. Duda.
Aye.
All right. Second reading of Bill 964. An ordinance of the City of St. Mary, Missouri, repealing ordinance 963 and regulating golf carts and utility vehicles.
Okay, the motion to adopt.
Make a motion to adopt.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made and second to adopt. Roll call.
Roll call for the adoption of Bill 964. Alderman Jennifer Schwartz.
No.
Alderman Clyde Costello.
Nay.
Nay?
Nay.
Okay. All right, Alderman Hacker.
Aye.
Alderman Zen Duda.
Aye.
That's aye.
No, you. It's adopted.
Okay.
I got a long memory. Well, it's on, thank you. Okay, it is low. That hill hadn't been worked on. I know Clyde, I've been already working with him on the street and water, water sewer, we didn't have pretty good round. First day almost. I hadn't, I know, and that has always been interested in the fire department. I'm sure she would take that. Park, recreation, and cemetery and stuff like that, would you be interested in doing that?
Sure.
And at the present time, general, would you street? That got everything covered?
Water sewer line.
Water sewer flag? I can't, I put animal control in with you there.
Me?
Yeah, it just, you just have to work with the city town, they got a good officer in St. Genevieve County. You don't really have to work with anything, give reports.
Is there any, I guess this department existed before, there's.
I made it departments a long time. We they don't have no, problem with us signing complaints to get this class took care of now. We're filing a complaint on Anthony in the board. We're filing two on it. You know, all here, you're all gonna be with it. You don't have a problem with it, I'm gonna sign it then.
I just spoke with him, and he wanted me to ask you, he said he's willing to take care of the damages and pay for the damages to not be prosecuted. It's completely up to you.
Well, I'm gonna do that, and if he does that, we'll drop it. It won't have to go to court.
Well, if you feel that, I'm gonna file a probable cause statement sent to the prosecutor.
And if we don't do that, then he changes his mind, we be a,
With it's a misdemeanor, it can be filed up to a year.
he say when? We're gonna have it done. He's not gonna.
He didn't, no, not have it done, he said he would pay for the damages.
That's what I'm talking
It's completely up to you. You don't have to let him. If you want to, I can file a probable cause statement with the prosecutor.
I can't let this kind of thing happen.
And he's been threatening employees.
Well, so, it's completely up to you. If you want him to pay for damages,
But that's the only, I just want him to be responsible for what he did. Start pay for the damage, he got it. I just can't allow that stuff to go on like that. What board wanted to?
Yeah, he had a similar outburst on Tuesday.
Well,
He had a similar outburst on Tuesday.
yeah,
At her.
it's
They slammed the
definitely
door,
what
used
he,
the F word, you know.
What would, now let me go back to the old story. What that been, somebody none of them know, would you be going after? Is that what you would do if it wasn't Anthony Bader? Would you allow just anybody come in here and do that?
No,
Right, you would.
you're right.
Would you? So is that what we should do tonight? Allow him to do it?
We'll have a copy of it according to you.
that's fine.
They can watch what I said on that thing.
Everything in yellow.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, no, they want their life story.
I got to put my social security number on there?
You don't have to.
I didn't think I did. Got to have two witnesses on there. vote that too, we can. You need two witnesses. Make sure you keep a copy of this film.
It'll go on the St. John TV website and also on the city's website.
They probably need to be took to court when they go forward. I don't care what they do, as long as he gets paid and he gets to have the knowledge that he was wrong.
Well, so this is actually, this isn't just getting the pay, this is an actual criminal property that is charged. You'll be getting a letter from the St. John County prosecutor.
All right.
With court papers.
I took it, they had it, so I took them, when they were coming to.
I have to.
I can use this address.
Make sure that
I can.
anything that transported through him, to the city clerk, he ever wants to do. Okay. And we read on department. Now, we are going to go into a closed session, but it's going to be a continuation to this one, and then we're going to come back into the open session. The way it's supposed to be done, so we change the order. They've been doing it there, but it wasn't changed. We're going to do it right now. But we still got, I guess we got to finish up on the emergency management.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Joe Brewster. They were supposed to come last week to give me a bid on Third Street. I've got some FEMA money, and I didn't spend it. But they're busy because they keep blowing me off, but, I'm still waiting. We're still working on it. That's all I got.
Frankie, fire department.
We had 4 calls this month, and we had a motor vehicle accident, a vehicle fire, and 2 medicals. We did our ISO review. They took all the paperwork back. I do have to get them a couple of things. I got to get the pressures off the hydrant. I thought it was flow that they wanted, but it's pressure. And they need an aerial map of our district, of our surrounding area that we protect. So Dave, if you have that, you got an aerial map of St. Mary's, where we make a copy of it and send it to them. They said we could get it from the southeast region, which we should have one already, but
I got, like, the census map, and I also got the sewer map, but that's just city limits. That's not the whole fire district.
okay, I didn't know if we had actual.
I don't even know where you guys go. I don't know.
We have one, I just gotta find it up there, but I didn't know if we had one down here too. Anyway, because we gave them maps, every time they come down, they always want those maps. That's just like a hydro map, they want one of them every time, and I just gave them one of my drawing ones that I made.
Oh, I got one on the computer.
So, I can send that to him too, so he's got an actual one.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
The other question is too, on the new billing app that you guys are going for, is that gonna take care of fire billing as well? Is that company gonna do the billing, or are we still doing the billing, and it's just,
It'll be just like a water bill, except it'll be once a year instead of every month.
okay, alright. That's what I was wanting to know, 'cause I didn't know if it was like a company actually doing the billing. We just,
No, they just give us the software, it's on our computer, and then we still put it in the paper and spit out the email.
And then the other question is, on them billings, since we're doing that, you said it goes, we did fire tax and all that on it too. They do have another billing, I don't know what it costs or anything out there to do. What it does is, they turn around and you write the bill, you send it, they get a copy of it, and then that way, if they don't pay, it's like fees. It keeps building up on it, like on these fire bills. Because we got bills from 2011, 2013, that still hasn't paid for yet. So, Yeah.
Right, and like, the system will allow for late fees, so I guess you just do a late fee on the wire
It'll
stuff.
be, yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
it'll be just like
Yeah,
a water
yeah,
system.
Okay, well, I didn't know how that actually was set up, so, that's basically all I have to report. So.
I'll have to read the minutes to know what he said.
Oh, he's talking about the.
I can't hear a word.
That's
okay.
Yeah, it is about the utility billing wire thing, so. Alright. Citizen participation.
I think we've had enough of that. Anybody else got anything? Anybody got anything you want to say? All right, we're going to go into a closed, we're going to go out of a regular session, the closed session. But I will be coming back into a regular closed in the regular session, like the ordinance used to call for. We're going to change that down the road.
Yeah.
The reason for that. So we need a motion to close in the regular session.
Make a motion to close the regular session.
All right, made there, all in favor? I think that's roll call.
Everything includes roll call.
Yeah.
Alderman Justin Morris, Alderman Mike Sue, Alderman Zedler.
I'll be everywhere else.
You should go be trespasser to tell them not to come. The only issue you're gonna have is just that.
I don't think we'll ever get you.
I'll look into it.
I'm not worried about it. He came and noticed, he mouths off about it. Most time he settled down. I ain't never seen anybody. I've known him since he was that tall. But he needs to learn when you come to a public meeting, you gotta act like this public meeting. And that's why I'm on. We're somewhere down the line here. So we're gonna have to know these things because we gotta change. All over the side tonight. But one out back over helping. And we haven't even discussed them. That's in the, with no order. They're asking me, it's still politics right now going on.
Well, you'll be getting a letter from the prosecutor.
Okay.
Wayne Williams.
Who?
Wayne Williams.
First one I didn't know. But I've never been prosecuted.
That's a good thing.
I'm pretty all right.
This is our
I think
mailing
I've been
address,
good.
which is different than our physical, we don't have a mailbox here.
All right, have a nice night, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Has anybody else got anything they want to bring up? Right? I can't see who's on this. City employees in town, they just want to raise.
It went, yeah.
Okay, motion closed, the bill.
Make a motion to close.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
7:34.